Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize, Guardian of Rebirth. We're still on Saint Germain's path, and we have escaped his mansion, we have escaped his hidden mansion, and made it back to his old mansion where we have joined up with Van Helsing and Victor Frankenstein. So yeah, we've got a lot of stuff to get straightened out with Saint Germain here. So hopefully we can get some of that done in this story soon here. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story.
Oh good, you're still awake.
Yes, what is it, Victor?
Well, there's a lot I want to talk about, and I wanted to give you some good news. May I come in?
I let Victor into the room, and after offering him the chair, I sit on the bed.
So, the good news. It's about Van Helsing's wound. It's not as bad as it looks. He'll be able to move fine in no time.
I see. I'm glad. I sigh in relief, and Victor smiles slightly before his expression turns serious.
We've all been looking for you ever since you and the Count disappeared. Impy had built a horologium tracker just in case something like this happened. But somebody broke it, so unfortunately, we had to go running around on our own feet.
Saint Germain is the one who sabotaged Impy's device. I remember him saying so, and I lower my head. Thank you for looking for me, and I'm so sorry for making you worry.
It's all right. It seems there was a reason for it.
Come on, you gotta tell them about him. As I try to explain myself, he puts his index finger up against my lips.
You can tell us all about it when everyone is here. This is a meeting spot that Lupin set up, just in case of an emergency. Everyone should gather here soon. So for now, you can just relax and take it easy.
Thank you, Victor. The kindness in Victor's voice permeates my entire body. Once Victor leaves, I lay down alone on the bed. I lay on my back so that my poison doesn't melt the blankets, and let my mind drift. Why did Saint Germain try to kill me? Why was that assailant in the armor after me? Right before I fell asleep, the last thing I see in my head is Saint Germain's sad smile. Saint Germain, why? As soon as I whisper this, I fall into the depths of a deep, deep sleep. Chapter 11. Saint Germain.
Ah, our beautiful princess. I, the gentleman thief Arsène Lupin, am pleased by your safe return.
I meet with Lupin and the others a little after sunrise. After his arrival at the lodging we are staying, he smiles as soon as he sees me, then kisses my gloved hand. Thank you, Lupin. I'm sorry you had to concern yourself over me.
Don't pay it another thought. I was definitely worried, but it's all been worth it if you're safe.
Lupin's smile is the same as always. Just seeing his smile makes me feel at ease.
Huh? No fair, Lupin. I was going to do that.
That's no way to act when we should be celebrating her safe return. Impy is being annoying as usual.
Deli, just make sure you don't grow up to be like that.
Huh. It would be difficult to become that irritating even if I tried.
I wish you would at least be considerate enough to talk behind my back when I can't hear you.
Everyone breathes a sigh of relief, seeing that I'm all right. I've really missed this lively atmosphere. Van Helsing, thank you for last night. How was your leg?
It was just a scratch. It's no big deal.
From what I saw last night, it seemed to be a pretty deep cut. He's probably just trying to play it down so I don't feel guilty about it. Victor, thank you too.
I didn't do anything. There's no need to thank me.
Van Helsing looks away, irritated, and Victor puts on a bright smile. These two really are opposites. After we check in with each other and make sure that we're all fine, Lupin calls for a more formal discussion to begin.
Cardia, if you're not too tired, will you tell us what happened? Exactly what went on from the time you disappeared until now.
Yes, it has a lot to do with Saint Germain, so I think I owe it to you guys to tell you. They all fall silent, and their eyes are all on me. I'm not that eager to tell them everything that Saint Germain did to me. But I start talking about my experience, organizing my thoughts as the others look on. I tell them about how I wanted to run away and disappear so as not to drag everyone else along with me. Saint Germain realized this and took me with him on a long walk through the forest. He took me to another mansion. He confined me there and almost killed me. Then I was able to somehow escape. After I made it back here, I was attacked in front of the mansion by someone wearing a suit of heavy armor, and that I had seen this assailant once before here in the mansion. Everyone listens in silence. There is one exception. Impy caused a scene when I described being strangled and tied up. After telling them everything, it seems to me that all of them look miserable. It's all because I tried to disappear without telling any of you. I didn't mean to cause trouble for the rest of you. I'm very sorry.
You'll be hearing about that later. Right now we have bigger problems at hand. Yes, I can't believe that the Count would suddenly try to kill you. But if this is all true, we need to consider the Count as a threat.
Van Helsing, Victor... The two of them furrowed their brows, openly conveying their suspicion. Contrary to those two, Impy and Lupin seemed to be deep in thought.
He tried to kill you? Saint Germain? I can't picture it. I'm thinking more along the lines of what Impy's saying. He can be pretty mysterious, but he's not a bad guy, I know that much. It's unforgivable that he hurt you, but he had to have a reason for it.
Lupin and Impy have known Saint Germain for quite some time. They probably have a greater desire to believe in him.
Don't be naive. It's an irrefutable fact that he tried to kill her. And if you don't want him to kill you, we need to start looking at him as an enemy. Be prepared to fight him.
Right. I tried to keep my reply vague, and Victor smiles at me.
You don't seem very convinced yourself. Do you have a different idea? Would you mind telling us?
Victor gently puts me on the spot, and I hesitate a little. But I already know what I want to do. I don't want to fight. I want to save Saint Germain.
Save him, not defeat him?
I nod. I think I had already decided that in my heart from the moment Saint Germain said he would kill me. Saying it out loud like this makes it all the more clear to me, and the thought firmly entrenches itself within my heart. His smile is so peaceful when he's watching over us. It's always brought me comfort. I always thought that his smiles were genuine. But I was wrong. His smile wasn't coming from his heart.
I would assume so. I don't know what he's after, but you're saying that he was misleading us with those smiles, correct?
That's not it. I shake my head at his question. I feel like I'm getting a little closer to the meaning behind the word save that has been floating in my head. Saint Germain's smiles were definitely misleading someone, but I think he never intended to trick us. I think the person he was trying to mislead was himself. I can't say for sure, but that's the impression I got. Thinking back, maybe Saint Germain's smiles were all unnatural. If they had been a mask to trick me, there would have been no need for them once I had been confined in his other mansion. But his smile never faded in front of me, not even when he was strangling me, or when he said farewell to me. He'd had a sad smile on his face, like he was trying to hide his true feelings. That's why I want to see what he's really like. I want to see him smile from the bottom of my heart, not in a lie or as something fake. Saying this aloud, I feel something fall into place in my heart. There is a moment of silence. Everyone looks at me in thought.
Cardia, let me say one thing. You have the option of forgetting him and continuing your journey with us, to keep looking for a way to remove your poison. You want to make Saint Germain smile, even if it may mean throwing the opportunity away? Is this more important to you than your desire to touch someone? You would throw away that wish for this?
There's no question about that. I reply without a moment's hesitation. I want Saint Germain to be happy. I want him to be able to smile without being sad. I wish him more happiness than I wish for myself. When did these feelings for him first arise in me? Was it when I first met Saint Germain? Or did they come about as I spent time with him as a friend? Or...
No, calling it a yearning for those times is too roundabout, playing it safe. I probably love you.
Is it because when he told me that, he sounded so sad and alone? I don't ever want to hear him say I love you so sadly ever again. I'm sorry, everyone. I want to look more into Saint Germain before trying to find my father. I know that you all have your own missions, and we're trying to find Father because of them. But I'm not going to be able to help you, for completely personal reasons. I'm very sorry. The silence feels heavy, and my voice grows softer. This is probably too selfish of me. But right when I think this...
Oh man, why Sainty G? Why not me?
Impy's loud complaint lightens the mood in the room. Huh?
All right, I'll help you too. I did promise I would grant your wish. I'll stick around for a while, just until I've confirmed that I've actually completed my goal of killing Finis. I'm always on your side. I'll help too. It's because of you folks that my arrest warrant was lifted, after all.
Are you sure, everyone?
You don't have to be modest with us. We're friends, aren't we? That's right. We went to do something about the Count, too. I don't have any intention of taking part in some lukewarm friendship with you people, but I do owe him.
Thank you, everyone. I lower my head once again as they say their pieces, one at a time. That's right. It's obvious if I think about it. Saint Germain isn't just my friend, but a friend of us all. I was just so convinced that I had to carry this burden on my own. I almost made the same mistake as when I tried to run off on my own without telling anyone.
Now, I guess moving forward we'll be looking for information on Saint Germain. First, we need to find some clues that will lead us to that info. Oh, about that. I don't know if this will be of any help, but I did notice one thing.
Victor looks up at us.
I had a feeling that I'd seen the name Count Saint Germain before. I checked my alchemy literature again and found the name as one of the authors.
So you mean Saint Germain wrote a book about alchemy?
Who knows? I couldn't get to the bottom of it. And the book was written about 200 years ago.
200 years.
So that's someone completely different, with the same name. I suppose the man we know is a descendant who took the title. That's the conclusion any normal person would reach, but the handwriting in the book looks exactly like the Count's. Besides, he has that cool and distant air about him, and he has a depth of knowledge unheard of for a man his young age. I know this doesn't sound very scientific of me, but if someone told me that the man was 200, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised either.
It's true. I feel myself being swayed by Victor's argument. Saint Germain's words always carried weight with us. He seemed very knowledgeable, suggesting that perhaps he had experienced a great many things that I couldn't even imagine.
That's ridiculous. There's no way that could be true. You're right. That's what I think too. Huh. We just need any clues that we can get our hands on. Let's keep what Victor's saying in mind. Cardia, did Saint Germain do anything that stood out to you while you were confined?
I tried to think back. I recall the few conversations we had during that short time I was held captive. I suddenly remember something and look up. Oh, Saint Germain said that he chose the wrong path a long time ago. That he's been regretting that decision ever since. And that he's going to continue committing a different crime so that he doesn't repeat the crimes of his past.
Committing a different crime? Is that what he meant by killing you?
I don't know, but I think that he has a reason for all this. A reason that made it so killing me was the only option. For a while after that, we exchange any information that we have about Saint Germain. We go over a number of different subjects, but there is no information among them that would bring us closer to who he truly is.
In the end, maybe Saint Germain never really opened up to any of us.
For some reason, this quiet admission from Lupin sticks in my mind. A few days later, Lupin and the others go out to gather information about Saint Germain. At the same time, they're looking everywhere for clues as to who the armored person who attacked us is. Every evening, we all share any information we have gathered, but we're unable to find any strong leads. Van Helsing and I tried to go back to Saint Germain's hideout, but we never find it. There's no way I could have taken a wrong turn anywhere. But, no matter how hard I look, I can't find the path leading to that mansion in the woods.
It seems that things related to the Count have a habit of being beyond our scope of reality.
I nod in agreement. We sporadically come across superficial information regarding the Count. However, as soon as we try to dig any deeper, we're suddenly lost in a fog. It's like the information itself is putting on a smile for show, but draws a line to keep us from getting closer. Just like Saint Germain himself.
So, you can't find the mansion, huh? The only thing I can think of now is that some mysterious power is at work. I feel like Lupin is the one who should have gone to look for the mansion with her. Someone going about his life always unintentionally leaves behind information here and there. Nothing like that here. All we can find is any footprints that Saint Germain has left on purpose.
We're all at dinner after failing to find Saint Germain's hidden mansion. After hearing the report from Van Helsing and me, Lupin comments with a tense face.
I'm trying to look into the Count's identity, but I pretty much hit a dead end. I wish there was some other lead we could be chasing. Cardia, did you notice anything else?
I think I've told you everything that happened while I was confined. It doesn't have to be from the time you were confined. Deli, who has been watching us in silence until now, speaks up. A person's true colors show through in extreme situations. My father always told me that. Was there any other time besides during your capture that the Count was behaving oddly, in a way that departs significantly from the way the man normally acts? Departs significantly? Oh, I suddenly remember something. In the dark underground facility, Saint Germain had stabbed and killed Finis without any warning. In that moment, when he had taken a life with no hesitation, he had demonstrated a cold-bloodedness that was so unlike him. Now that I think about it, when we confronted Finis in the underground lab, Finis lost his composure when he saw him. For some reason, he seemed afraid of Saint Germain all on his own. How could I have forgotten something this important? At the underground facility, that conversation Finis and Saint Germain had in the room where 665 corpses had been floating.
The agents of destiny, guides of history, we are called many names. But the apostles of idea, does that ring a bell? Idea? The idea? The one organization Father feared?
And Saint Germain had cut Finis down without letting him finish. I think there may have been some meaning behind how he acted.
Does the name idea ring a bell with anyone? Nothing comes to mind. It sounds like some kind of philosophical term.
Everyone else shakes their head in response to Lupin's question. Van Helsing eventually speaks up.
Whatever it means, there's a high likelihood that our assailant is related to it as well. Cardia, if things are as you say, the person in armor was making its rounds in the Count's mansion before. There is a good chance that the Count and our attacker know each other, and they know about the idea thing too.
Yes. I agree with him, then take a look at the others in the room. I just remembered that it seemed that Finis had been told about idea by Father. So, maybe if we trace Father's footsteps, we'll be able to figure out something about Saint Germain's identity.
So, after everything, we circle back to Isaac. It's a little eerie that he's always at the center of everything.
I personally would like to go check out that underground facility again. Well, it's about time they thought about that for once. I try to think hard as I say this. If we could investigate that facility, but with the intent to find out more about Saint Germain and Idea, maybe we'll be able to find something. Everyone else agrees with me. The agents of destiny, guides of history, and the apostles of Idea. What do these things have to do with my and Saint Germain's destinies? I wonder if the reason Saint Germain tried to kill me has something to do with them. I feel like we're finally getting closer to the hidden truth behind Saint Germain's identity. I clench my fists. The next day, the sky looks like it's about to start pouring, because it always has to rain when they go visit that facility. I feel uneasy. The possibility of discovering the truth about Saint Germain makes me nervous. I'm worried that finding out about him will cause my feelings for him to change. When did my feelings for him become so strong? This is a mystery even to myself. There was probably no clear-cut instance in which that happened. I spent my days living in his home, hearing his kind words, and seeing his gentle smile. Going through dangerous situations together. All of this led to Saint Germain taking a central place in my heart. Back then, when I told him about my past, he said that I'm the one suffering the most. He prayed for me. I felt that what he did for me, even if it was that slight, it saved me. Saint Germain. I whisper his name, then step away from the window. It's almost time to leave.
Rain, rain, rain. It's always raining when we come here. That's what I said. You're right about that. It's as if the sky is weeping.
Just as Impy says, rain falls from the dark, heavy clouds and continually beats down on the ground, just like when we first visited this place. The cemetery leading to the facility is a dreary place. Me, Lupin, Van Helsing, Impy, and Victor are the ones who came today. Deli is staying behind, watching over our lodgings. I made the decision that he should stay, since I didn't want a child like him to see all the corpses, even if he is a vampire.
I'm getting pretty tired of this place.
Van Helsing says it quietly. The others have all been here multiple times, searching for clues about Father.
Okay, so they have.
But this is just my second time. I haven't been here since the first time we set foot in this facility. I would have avoided coming here with all those corpses of me if I possibly could. Coming here means that I have no choice but to see myself as a monster.
Cardia, you don't have to force yourself to go inside.
No, this was my suggestion. If it means that we'll find a clue that brings us closer to the truth about Saint Germain, I don't want to turn away. For some reason, Lupin looks at me with kind eyes. What is it, Lupin?
It's just, you've come such a long way since I first stole you away, that's all.
Am I that different now? Lupin nods, then takes a good look at me.
So, what made you fall in love with Saint Germain?
Love?
He's special to you, right? What do you like so much about him?
What do I like? For some reason, that makes me flush. Friendship, respect, affection, goodwill. Love is simply a term of endearment. Why should I feel so embarrassed about something as normal as this? But my love for Saint Germain is different than my love for the others. It's a bit embarrassing, but it feels like a warm, special word. Yes, until recently I think I just appreciated Saint Germain a lot. I enjoyed the time we spent together. He made me happy, and the more we talked, the more I wanted to spend time with him. I liked Saint Germain and saw him in a favorable light. I stare down at my feet as I speak slowly. But after everything that's happened, I'm not sure how I feel about Saint Germain anymore. He changed so quickly, I think I lost sight of my own feelings. I slowly raise my head. I continue talking. I look Lupin straight in the eyes and speak clearly. That's why I want to see him again, to figure out my own feelings. I want to love him again. Lupin listens to me with a peaceful expression, then nods as if he has been convinced of something.
Oh man, you are making me jealous.
Lupin. I tip my head to the side, and Lupin looks away, which is unusual for him. Then he turns back and stares at me.
Hey, Cardia. You guys, don't fall behind.
Before Lupin can finish, Victor's voice cuts him off. Lupin.
Never mind, it's nothing. Let's go. You want to love Saint Germain again, right?
Yes. Lupin smiles, then begins walking ahead of me. I look down from embarrassment and follow him. The lights inside the facility turn on. We slowly walk through the dimly lit hall inside. It's just as eerie as it was last time, and the further we go in, the more I feel like we've wandered into a different world.
We've been here several times looking for clues about Isaac, but have yet to find anything worth noting.
Victor explains to me as we walk.
The first time we came here, we were attacked by Twilight.
Yes.
We were somehow able to get away from that attack, but it seems that most of the files on Isaac were removed at that time.
Maybe Twilight hasn't taken any of the information regarding Idea.
I certainly hope so.
I nod along with Victor and enter a room. Everyone goes off to different sections of the mountain of books and papers. I start reading through some of the documents. Somehow, in this heap of knowledge, there should be something about Idea. Or perhaps the reason why Saint Germain tried to kill me is here somewhere. I already have a feeling about where I should really be looking. If Saint Germain was out to kill me, it's probably related to how I came to be. The fact that I'm a monster and carry the horologium. I can't bring myself to think that it would be some other reason than these. If so, there has to be some clue in this place. I start walking farther in, as if being led by something. The nightmare burned into my memory is here in front of me once again. The room full of glass tubes, and the twisted corpses floating in each one. I stop in my tracks and gasp. What I see feels like the embodiment of my cursed birth itself. I shake my head, trying to stop trembling. There is no time to gawk at them. If there are any clues here, if it'll lead us to learning about Idea and Saint Germain, I'll look as long as we can. I slowly circle the glass tubes and recall the conversation I had with Finis. I remember how Saint Germain appeared, and the shining silver blade, and the fountain of blood. All of these images feel like they're closing in on me. I stop, seeing something reddish-black on the floor. That's right. Finis, my brother died here. His corpse is no longer here. According to Lupin, it was already gone the second time he came here. Twilight probably came to take it, though probably not to mourn him. I feel the edge of my shoe step on something. Don't touch it! I look down at my feet in concern and see a beautiful pendant that seems out of place in this facility. Shouldn't one of the other guys have noticed this before? If it was left here, could this have been Finis's? I pick it up to take a closer look and... No! The pendant suddenly begins to glow. Not knowing what's happening, I look into the beautiful light in a daze. Gradually, I feel the horologium in my chest growing warmer.
Cardia!
Right before I feel myself about to black out, Victor slaps the pendant out of my hand. Victor! The pendant hits the floor, and its light dims. The heat in the horologia rapidly cools.
Are you alright? Do you feel any different?
I'm fine, but what happened?
I don't know, but that light, it looked like the pendant and your horologium were reacting with each other. What is that thing?
Victor stares down at the pendant, which still glows faintly. I don't know, but it's probably something that belonged to Finis.
Finis had something that caused a reaction in the horologium.
Victor thinks for a moment, then carefully picks up the pendant, which has gone completely dark by this time.
Maybe this is some key item used in the completion of the horologium.
Victor holds the pendant in his hand and looks at it questioningly. What do you mean?
Even while you were missing, I continued my research into your poison, as well as the horologium. According to my results, it seems that the transformation of the horologium and the strength of the poison are related. If the horologium is refined to its purest form, it becomes an amazing substance that can control life, the Philosopher's Stone. But, at the same time, the effects of the poison in your body become exponentially stronger.
Victor looks away slightly, then turns his eyes back to me.
If the Philosopher's Stone is completed, the area around you, a pretty sizable one, will be filled with deadly gas.
Deadly. A chill runs down my spine. If what Victor says is true, that problem is far worse than melting things with my touch.
Calm down. It's all just speculation, and it may not happen at all. It's a dangerous thing, but on the other hand, it may provide us with a clue as to how your poison can be removed.
Victor carefully wraps the pendant in a handkerchief and puts it in his pocket. Just about the same time... Okay, before we find out what happens at this same time, we are going to take a break and pick up in the next episode. So I hope to see you there. I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.